My parents told me to be the best in class to get a bicycle as a child, so I put in the effort, became the best, and got a bicycle from them. Looking back at it now, I viewed becoming the best in class as a criterion for getting a bicycle. That is to say that our view or belief of a particular thing or situation may or may not spur an outcome. I believe I can do this, so I am doing this, and I have an outcome. I see that barrier as insurmountable, so no effort and no result. Can't you see this is all about our mindset? Let's dive in and see how mindset is key to many things. Hello, you're listening to Thrive and Soar Podcast. I'm your host, Theodora Nadi. I'm an entrepreneur, a researcher, and of course, a digital content creator. My mission is to help goal and growth-oriented persons like you break your barriers so that we can thrive and soar together. Life is about growing and changing, and you get to see your life evolve positively. If yes, then this is the right space for you. This is the space for you to improve your life and transform your personality. Join me on this journey of becoming the best version of ourselves, and I will support and empower you every step of it so that we can win together. Let's move. Different days, different wins, failures, struggles, worries, all those make life. But then, some of these weren't there at some stage in our life. At least as a child, I was opportune to have my parents bear my worries and struggles. I didn't have to worry about meeting milestones, being productive, achieving goals, living a healthy lifestyle, or thinking about what to wear or eat. The only life responsibility I was saddled with was to be kind, respectful, and win. Yes, it was just win in academics, win in social competitions. That was just it. But as I got older, the reality of life began to sink in. I would do all those things I didn't do as a child. My responsibilities went beyond being kind, respectful, and winning in class. There's a clear difference between childhood and adulthood that often gives us that, can I at least go back to being a child vibe? But then going back to being a child is not the best idea because you will eventually meet up with adulthood again. So you just need to face it. You can't live like a child forever. It is never happening. So I embraced adulthood and everything that comes with it and was fully convinced that I would make the best out of it. Yeah. Amidst the zeal and desires to live up to my expectations of myself, some barriers would occasionally creep in to sabotage my zeal and results. So I needed a remedy for this barrier. Thinking about what is it that I need to overcome those barriers at every point. Let me rewind to our lives as children. Some had every opportunity to maintain the winning end, while others lacked that opportunity. I discovered that many of us didn't have the same chance, but we had the same responsibility to win. It was just about to win. You can't be thinking about making dinner. It's not your responsibility. The only responsibility was win as much as you can. I'm sure as children we didn't consider the opportunities available because we couldn't understand so well, but we were all focused on the trophy. Even the most introverted child would be happy to receive a box of chocolate for being the best actor in the class play. A stubborn child would keep calm and show respect just to have his parents get him a pack of cookies. The focus here was the reward, the prize, the trophy, the reward, and for doing a certain thing. I came to believe that I would get cookies if I were respectful. If I become the best actor in the class play, I would get chocolates. If I came first in class, I would get a bicycle from my parents. As a child, my belief and thoughts spurred the efforts and made my winnings possible. Reminiscing on these childhood beliefs and thoughts, why and how I was driven to bring home the trophy each time, I realized that it was all about mindset. It was mindset all along. Mindset did it for me as a child. Although life was a lot easier and different then, we still had responsibilities just like we have now. I thought aloud, since mindset did it then, that it will still do it now. If by mere focusing on the reward, a box of chocolates, I overcame what I felt was an introverted nature, participated in the play, and performed well. If this worked for me as a child, it would work for me as an adult. If I could view something in a certain way, it could be my reality. That was it. I realized that my mindset will be a perfect remedy for the barriers I encounter in life. In the face of self-doubt, if I could think and believe that I'm enough, I am enough. In the face of procrastination, if I could think and view now as the perfect time to act, this is the time to act. In the face of lack of confidence, if I perceive myself as someone that can fly, I can fly. If I could view myself as a confident child of God, I would be a better, more confident child of God. That was how my mindset strategy came into vogue. Thinking, believing, focusing, and meeting up with what my mind was all about became the game changer. This strategy has helped me navigate adulthood and maintain the winning end more than the opposite end. If I can remember, I have employed this strategy for the longest time, and I can tell you that it is key to many things. What I think, believe, and view affects my life. I can tell you that mindset can spawn an effort and result. Imagine seeing myself as qualified for something. I would try that thing out because I want to see my prowess. You see, my perception and belief of myself support the effort. However, when I see myself as unqualified, I won't even be motivated to confirm that. Why? Like, I'm already unqualified, so why should I put in effort? Human nature could have played a part because we're often eager to see our win rather than our failure. But I'm telling you that mindset was the game here. It was the real thing here, likewise human nature. I've never seen anybody intentionally aspire for failure, but we deliberately and unintentionally aspire for a win. So this is why maintaining the right mindset is essential. The right mindset comes with willingness and will push you to your success, but the wrong mindset comes with unwillingness and makes you dormant. Let me tell you how my mindset strategy saved me from anything related to frustration. Frustration is a feeling of annoyance that usually comes into play when things seems not to be working as anticipated or as they should. Clearly, we make plans, we set goals, and continually work to achieve one or two every day of our life. These plans and goals are likely to pull through or not pull through. And frustration may set in when it doesn't go through, especially when you've tried perfecting and achieving this severally. So some time ago, I saw my plans failing and many things were not working as anticipated. I felt I had every right to feel frustrated and vent my frustration on people around me. Besides, can't they see that nothing is working? The reality at that point was that nothing was working. My efforts kept going into shambles. I would always cry my eyes out. I remember how I was sobbing profusely, scared that my heart would fall out. Then one day, with tears in my eyes, something compelled me to clean up and not lament anymore. I don't know what compelled me. Maybe because I've cried enough. I don't know what. I just got that feeling. Why are you crying? Stop crying and stop lamenting. Although everything was real on that day, I told myself that I wasn't accepting that reality anymore. Stuff like this happened in the movie. It's real. I've experienced it. I decided to think and believe differently regardless of the reality at that time. I convinced myself that my plans and failed anticipation were not my reality. I believed that a little more push would bring results if I didn't think that way. I just believed that a little more push would bring results. Now, if I didn't think that way, I could have been stuck mentally for some time and it would derail the next move. And this next move could bring forth a result, You may think this whole process is easy, but to me it wasn't. It wasn't even anything close to being easy. Imagine believing and accepting otherwise when the actual situation was staring at you. It was staring at me. It wasn't easy, but it was possible. It was possible. Very possible, because I did it. Someone once told me that I'm very good at controlling my mind. I would never believe it if not for scenarios like this. I locked up my mind and believed in what was better and healthy for my next move. Now, I didn't lose anything by not believing that reality. However, I lost my strength and mental focus in believing that reality. That is the problem here. I would always say, why settle when I can fly? In this case, it wasn't about settling and flying. It was about believing when not believing won't harm me. It won't harm me not to believe that. I'm not losing anything by not believing that. I'm not scraping any part of my skin by not believing that. I'm not losing an arm, neither am I losing a leg for not believing that. So why believe it? I would like to point out that often our reality adjusts to the state of our mind, because that was what happened to me. I think this is more psychological. I'm not a psychologist, but I think this is more psychological. I don't know, but I'm sure that since that day, I didn't see those failed plans and anticipations again. Up to this day, I don't give room for any feeling of frustration, not at all. This mindset strategy has done more good than harm in my life. Now, did I often employ this strategy in all my endeavors? Yes, especially in the face of opposition, I did employ this strategy. Is this strategy applicable to just winning and failing? No, I applied it in everything that involved my thoughts and beliefs. Looking back at it, that is almost everything I do as human. Did this strategy work for me? Always. Not 100%, but I will tell you that it worked 95% of the time. 95 over 100 is a high stake. So I would say that this strategy is very effective and I recommend it to you. No matter how we want to think about it, this life journey we're talking about is not a straight road. And it's not devoid of bumps and obstacles. Those bumps may sometimes shoot out with or without a trigger. Triggers here could be anything or anyone. It might be life circumstances or those tiny voices that creep into your head, or those loud voices in the comment section of digital spaces, or even from colleagues, friends, family, or anyone you can think of. Just imagine those toxic comments you see in the comment section of someone's post. Those comments are enough to make one pause and go back into their shell. Or those side talks from a colleague could make you avoid making contributions in work meetings. Or imagine cultivating a thought that nobody would be interested in your articles. Trust me, this thought alone is enough to push you 100 steps backwards. These are triggers. But no, you don't have to do that. You don't have to patronize them. You don't have to believe such. You don't even have to, even regardless of who says it, regardless of what happens, regardless of if you're the one that is making it up or if it's coming from someone, you do not have to believe any of this. Just allow time, allow effort and consistency to determine the results for you. You have to bear in mind that the remedy is to intentionally be in control of the assets and effects of these triggers in your life. Don't intentionally hit your toes on a rock. Don't let anybody be the reason you hit your toes on a rock. And don't be the reason someone should hit his toes on the rock. I once developed a mind structure for right and wrong thoughts. I see those triggers, mental wrecking beliefs and thoughts as windows. I see them as windows. You might be surprised, windows. Yes, I call them windows because they don't give me access to anywhere. They don't give me access to anywhere. I can't use the window as an exit or entrance space. And then I see the right thoughts and beliefs as a door because they provide me with entrance and exit access to my purpose and potential. So I often call the negative thoughts the windows and then the right thoughts the doors. Gaining access through the window is like breaking a rock. Don't you think so? Imagine maybe you need to jump out through the window in the case of an emergency. It's hard. It's harder than using the door. And that is why I said gaining access through the window is like breaking a rock. You may even hurt yourself trying to do that. But gaining access through the door is unlikely to hurt you. Rather, it's going to make the journey desirable. So I ask, why leave the windows open when the door can give you access to the next groundbreaking result? I will conclude by reminding you that it is better to close the windows, get rid of the handles, and focus on the door. Intentionally close the windows and open the doors because it serves a more beneficial purpose than its counterparts. Transform your life by improving your mindset. Most importantly, involve God. He makes everything possible. Reframe your mindset and be quick to refrain from those things that can trigger negative beliefs and thoughts. Be quick to challenge negative thoughts and assumptions once they come. Apply the mindset strategy as often as possible and watch your life take a positive turn. Trust me, Thank you for listening to this episode of Thrive and Soar Podcast. I want you to remember that we've hoped, we've coped, and we do not just want to survive. We want to reach for the stars. We want to thrive and soar because it is our birthright. We've got this, and God got us. Whether we've become the best version of ourselves or we're still working towards being the best version of ourselves, what matters is that best is the common word here, and we have that word in mind. So join me in a toast to the best version of us. I hope that I've been able to impact your life through this episode. Please be sure to subscribe so that I'll be motivated to join you again. And if you appreciate the show, please give us some stars. Thank you.